Ross Hudgens, who I'm going to invite onto my podcast after this. He's an SEO and he shared this on LinkedIn. It was reshared by Rand Fishkin. I loved it. Rand Fishkin, friend of the podcast. He came on this show a few months ago. Rand is great. And I enjoyed this post about ranking for best X articles on Google, but also to influence LLMs, to influence large language models. And Ross Hudgens said, should you create best X articles to influence LLMs? The short answer, it's complicated. For B2C, probably not. For B2B, we often think yes. And so he gives this take on things that you should do to actually rank for these best X articles. And it's a very straightforward take that I think a lot of SEOs don't actually, there's a lot of considerations in here that SEOs don't think about. And I'm going to share them. I'm going to break them down. I'm going to break each point. It's like a five point share, and I'm going to break each one of these down. And when you come away from this, you're going to have a better idea about how to rank, how to make these best X articles, how to rank for them, and how to have them influence LLMs. That's what I got for you on this episode of the show. Ross said, you should make these best X articles and then there's 5 reasons. So if you are a great result for that best X search that will inform better, more sustained rankings. There is pessimism about including yourself first, but you can only maintain those rankings if dwell times are strong and other signals put you there in the first place, like topical relevancy or link equity that correlate with being a great result in that category. Basically, this means if your content really deserves the position, you will stay in a high position on Google and then being surfaced in LLMs if, again, your content deserves it. So people actually spend time reading your page instead of bouncing away. Or the content is related to the rest of the content on your site. You have topical authority, not just from the content on your site, but from the links that you're getting. The links that you're getting are also related to this best X list that you put up. So even if you put yourself first, it will only work long term if you have the real world performance signals. Number 2, if you say you're the best for only one part of the keyword, like best for small business on a best CRM search, that softens the awkwardness and reputational risk of putting yourself first. The goal is to show up in the funnel and capture all the audience hyper-relevant to you, not all of it. That builds audience trust. I really like this one. Instead of claiming you are the absolute best overall, you are positioning yourself as the best for a specific segment. So like the best CRM for small businesses instead of best CRM. And by the way, this is kind of similar to the compact keywords method. This is my SEO course, compact keywords, also my method of SEO. And you find individual use cases to target with purchase intent landing pages. Best CRM for small businesses or just CRM for small business, that is one of these use cases. But you might also be a great CRM for mid-sized businesses, and then you make a page for that too. You're not winning everyone, you're winning the audience that actually fits your niche or your buyer profile. And the thing is, most businesses fit into different buyer profiles, and you're finding the ones that you fit in, and then you're targeting those. Also, just from a psychological standpoint, best for X use case feels more honest and targeted rather than arrogant and manipulative. It avoids the awkwardness and credibility loss of putting yourself first on one of these best overall lists. Number 3. So doing these best lists, it snowballs to other mentions from people, and this is Ross's language again, snowballs to other mentions from people adding you to their lists if you are actually a good product. Not doing these now is contributing to that snowball not building while it does for your competitors. Similarly, this snowball contributes to your own list ranking, another positive signal that only happens if you belong. So basically, once you are number 1 on your own list, others start adding you to their best lists. And that happens all the time. People are doing research for their own best of lists. Yours comes up and then they're like, okay, I'm just gonna put what this person said. This person seems well researched. I'm actually going to get into that in, I think, the next one or the one after that. And then when you're included in other people's list, it strengthens your own list. It strengthens your position in your own list because other people are repeating what you said. And this influences LLMs because now a bunch of different people are also saying, yeah, your brand is the best. It might have started with you, but people are playing telephone, and this makes your best of list more credible. And the thing is, Lars Lofgren, really well-known SEO, he's blowing up right now for an amazing article that he wrote about how mods on Reddit are abusing their power. And Lars came on less than a week ago. He came on the show less than a week ago. Lars Lofgren was on 6 days ago, episode 825 of this show, Why Big Blogs Are Collapsing and How to Fix Them. And at the end of that episode, he talked about making best of lists. And he said, if you don't do them, your competitors are going to do them. And so you might as well make these best of lists. He's a huge advocate for that. And he talks about that on that episode. This part, I love number 4 so much. So this is back to Ross's language. And Ross said, data shows perception is not reality if these are done well, if these best of lists are done well. Our client articles have an average time on site in the 2-minute range. This requires value additive roundups, strong design, neutral competitor descriptions, and linking out to competitors to be done well. Basically, people assume that these best X articles are biased, but the data actually shows that users are staying engaged if the content is genuinely useful or fair. So what does that mean? That means add real value instead of fluff. Have the site and the layout and the posts look good, look nice. Describe your competitors objectively. So you will be tempted to say bad things about your competitors. Don't do that. Describe them neutrally and even link to them. Now, you don't need to link to them with a do follow backlink. You don't need to do that because no one's going to see that. But you do need to link out to your competitors. I just think the temptation to talk about your competitors in a negative way, it's so strong, but you shouldn't do that. You should talk about yourself and talk about your competitors in a neutral way. This is something that I personally have noticed in SEO is that neutral language does better. And the last one, number 5, these are not that different from best X software paid listing pages that are also influencing rankings. They have similar correlative signals that make the best companies show up higher sustainably. Time in market due to review volume / quality, and ability to convert the traffic, like better product / review quality. So basically, and this one is kind of like an of course, but these best X articles, they work a lot like paid review or listing sites like G2 or Capterra. And both types of pages, they rank high in Google and LLM results for similar reasons. So if your product is genuinely good, and maybe it's somewhat established, you've established your brand, then creating this best X content can reinforce the same credibility signals that these paid platforms use. And then to Ross's point, that helps you rank sustainably. And this influences LLMs. So Ross concludes his post. In B2B, the reality is rarely does anyone know who the best is unless you are operating at massive scale, given the sample size is so small. The job instead is to know who the good is and put yourself in that conversation as a good provider when someone is ready to buy. Lists like this can help. Yeah, I really liked this post, and thank you, Ross, for writing it. I'm going to send you an email after this. And for everybody watching and listening, this is episode 831 of The Edward Show. This is my daily digital marketing podcast, 831 days in a row doing this podcast. Great news. I am getting my stitches out tomorrow. 5 stitches over here, 2 stitches in my side. I'm getting them taken out, and hopefully I'm not sure. I'll find out. But hopefully on tomorrow's episode, I won't be wearing a bandage. I don't know if you noticed, I've been all of the thumbnails for the last 2 weeks since I've had these stitches in and this bandage on. All of my thumbnails have also had me with a bandage on it. It was like I don't know if I could call that an Easter egg, but to me it was like this fun thing that I did. Yeah. And if you want to get, again, my method of doing SEO, which specifically targets people at the bottom of the funnel who know what they want, They just don't know the brand that is going to give them what they want, but they are ready to buy. They are ready to use something. They are ready to call you. If you want that method of SEO, which took me years and years and years to learn, so much trial and error and failure and success and failure and success. If you want that, that is at compactkeywords.com. Lots of people are loving this, and you're going to love it as well. Thank you again for watching this podcast and for listening to it, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.